So, welcome to today's Scrum Pulse. I'm Lindsay Bellasina. Thank you for joining us. We have a professional Scrum trainer with us here today, Mehdi Hoseini, and he is going to talk to us about the secrets of professionalism in Scrum. It's a very exciting topic and lots of interesting stuff that he's going to go through. So we're looking forward to that. And with that, can you go to the next slide, please, Mehdi?
Yes.
All right, so just some very quick guidelines here. So your microphone will be muted throughout the session. However, we do encourage Q&A. So please add any questions that you have for Mehdi into the Q&A box. And any technical questions you may have, please add them into the chat. And I will address those there. This session is being recorded, so you will be able to refer back to this later, and you will also have access to the slides. So, and that should be available within 24 hours. So next slide, please. Okay, just a little bit about Scrum.org. We are the home of Scrum. We were founded by Ken Schwaber in 2009, and our mission is to help people and teams solve complex problems. And we do so through our professional Scrum training, certification, and our ongoing learning opportunities. There are a lot of free opportunities to learn on our website, so be sure to check those out. Mehdi is one of over 350 professional Scrum trainers that we have globally. So we have a great community here of awesome trainers like Mehdi helping you to expand your learning journey. So with that, I would like to hand it over to Mehdi to get us started.
Yes. Lindsay, thank you very much for your introduction. Let me get started. Okay, welcome everyone to our webinar today. We want to navigate a great, concept of professionalism. My name is Mehdi Hoseini. I'm a professional Scrum trainer with the Scrum.org. And also I'm a founder of a coaching business, helping IT professionals build their professional identity. This is my website, link here, professionalmindcoaching.com. I have been working in software industry for more than 20 years. First, I was a developer, and it was 2013 that I got familiar with the Scrum and Agile. And since then, I have been serving mostly as a Scrum Master, companies and teams, and I'm really happy being in this wonderful world of Agile and Scrum. So let's dive into our webcast today. Let's get started. First of all, we see the professional keyword in all names of the Scrum.org trainings and certificates. I have got all the badges of trainings and certificates here. And as you can see, we have professional keyword in all of them. But what does professional really mean in a Scrum? Okay, the intention of today's webinar is diving into the real meaning and deep meaning of professionalism. Disclaimer here, the content of this webcast is not mine. I just collected and organized them based on my learning. In fact, I have learned them from 2 elite personal development programs. And just for your information, over the past 2 years, I have been intensively working on building my professional identity. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a heads up how we can start building our professional identity, which needs a lot of energy and dedication. So let's dive into it. This is the history of elite personal development. It started with Mr. Andrew Carnegie more than 100 years ago. And then Mr. Napoleon Hill, he is the author of the famous book, Think and Grow Rich. He continued the work. And after that, we have Mr. Ernst Nightingale, and he is the, the greatest podcaster in the US. And also Mr. Bob Proctor continued the work. And I was one of the students of Mr. Bob Proctor. Unfortunately, in 2022, Mr. Bob Proctor passed away. But they have, put a wonderful and great, heritage for us. And professionalism is the backbone of success for the Scrum team. Guys, when you want to be successful, more than technical and domain knowledge and a structure like Scrum, you need one more thing to be really successful, which is your behavior and attitude. Together, we call them professionalism. Because of that, we claim professionalism is the backbone of success for the Scrum team. And, we have professionalism in two, spaces. The first one, professionalism in our personal identity. And the second one is professional in Scrum. Based on my learnings in two contexts, I have realized that professionalism in both contexts are interconnected. It means you cannot be a real professional Scrum practitioner if you don't develop your own professional identity. And professionalism is all about knowingness and beingness. Just for your information, although they are not, familiar keywords that you have already heard, knowingness and beingness, but these are keywords that I have learned from my mentors. They use these keywords a lot. In fact, we have two main lines that we need to invest in to, develop our professional identity. And knowingness means that you know how your inside works, specifically your mind, because I know that there are a lot of things that we don't know, like complex problems that we have in the Scrum, context. Complex problem is something that we don't know some factors about it, In fact, there are unknowns more than nouns. And also your result is the reflection of your insight. So if you want to create massive results, you should tune your insight. And beingness is about, you implement your knowingness by having control of your insight, and setting up your process to build quality products and services and make your customers satisfied. At the end of the day, all of us have some products and services, even we work individually, So we want to think about it differently. Do we produce quality products or services? Do we have an intention to create satisfied customers or not? These are powerful questions that we always should ask ourselves, And then let's dive into a knowingness main line to see what we have in this line. Guys, to do so, we will use a very simple model, which is called a stick person. This first was created by Dr. Fleet in 1934 to simplify understanding how our mind works. In fact, our mind works with images. So when we have this simple image, we can understand concepts behind the, just a moment. Yeah. Behind our minds. Let's get started with minds. Our mind has two main sections, conscious mind and subconscious mind. And we have our body, okay? Let's see what they are. The first one, conscious mind, is our thinking mind. It is our educated mind, intellectual mind. It is our difference with animals. And the characteristic of our subconscious mind is that we can choose thoughts. We can accept or reject thoughts. We can make a decision to think about any specific topics, On the other hand, we have our subconscious mind, which is our emotional mind, somewhere that we feel, and it just can accept. It doesn't have any ability to reject things. So whatever you plant in it, it just accepts. It's like a garden. And, it is where that more than 95% of our results, are created. So by your intellectual mind, by your logic, you cannot or you don't create your results, but your results are in the direct reflection of your subconscious mind, what you have in it. And body is just an instrument of our mind to take action. Indeed, our body takes action based on whatever we have in our subconscious mind generally. And then we have the attitude concept. Attitude is the composition of our way of thinking, feeling, and acting. And whenever we are a professional person, these three aspects are in harmony with each other and are aligned with the goals that we want to achieve. And then we have another concept in the professionalism context, which is called paradigm. In fact, it is our autopilot system, guys. And it helps us to do our work with the minimum energy. It helps us to survive, okay? And then we are the product of our environment. So whatever we have in our subconscious mind, it can be either our beliefs or habits, we attract them from our environment. Imagine if you were born in China. Naturally, your language, your native language would be Chinese, and we have the same thing if you were born in the US. Your mother language would be English. You see, so you get effects from your environment. It means that we have a lot of habits and beliefs in our mind, but some of them are not constructive because we haven't chosen them consciously, but they are there to create our behaviors and our results. So here we want to consciously dip into our paradigm to see which one is constructive and which one is not. And it is our internal thermostat. You know that how thermostat works. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone goes on a diet to lose weight, okay? So what happens usually, this is the trends that we will experience. First, we start to do our work by dedication and we lose some weight, but until a threshold. Meanwhile, our paradigm is working and put the best energy to prevent us from moving forward to lose our weight. Why? Because it is there to keep us safe. It just wants to keep us in our safe zone, So naturally, and for many people, usually people stop their diet and they will return back to their normal weight, like a thermostat. Thermostat, whenever it realizes a deviation, it sends a signal to the heating system or cooling system to turn them on to, compensate that deviation. And we have the same thing with our paradigm. And guys, paradigm is truly powerful. So if we want to change our attitude toward a professional attitude, we need to put a lot of energy to overcome our paradigm. And then let's talk about creation process. Every creation happens in two levels. First, in our mind, and second, in the materialized world. The time frame between the first state and second state is called gestation period, as here. After passing the gestation period, you will see your goal as a materialized result in the physical world. But people who want to achieve massive results should be willing to pay the price of passing the gestation period. There isn't any goals without gestation period. We don't know just the duration of it. And then auto-suggestion. I really love this quote from Mr. Andrew Carnegie. He says, any idea that is held in the mind, that is emphasized, feared, or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate physical form available. So guys, it's really, really powerful, this quote. Why? Because autosuggestion is working always. It is everything that you allow to enter into your mind. And negative thoughts are autosuggestion of something that we don't want. And mass people usually use autosuggestion mechanism against themselves. But if we want to use it for us, we should start thinking about what we really want and, you know, and prevent entering negative thoughts to our mind. And we have two main channels of input to our mind. The first one, which is familiar to all people, is physical sensors. We have sensors of, you know, hear, see, smell, taste, touch. But be honest, guys, animal kingdom has the same sensors. Sometimes theirs are stronger, much stronger. For example, dogs have stronger, you know, smell sense compared to human being. So what is the difference between, you know, animal kingdom and human being? Here we have a new concept which is called higher faculties. What is higher faculties? These are our superpowers that can flourish on our infinite potential. We have 6 higher faculties: imagination, reasoning, will, perception, memory, and intuition. But guys, many people even are not aware of having these higher faculties, let alone using them for themselves. It is a deep, you know, concept in professionalism. I just give you 2 slides of 2 higher faculties, imagination and reasoning here. Imagination, you know, every creation process starts with imagination. Nothing happens by accident, guys. Imagine, for example, Wright brothers. More than 100 years ago, one day they saw a bird in the sky and they imagined, why shouldn't we, you know, be in a state to be able to fly to the sky or something like this, you know? So they started using their imagination higher faculty. It doesn't matter if they did it consciously or unconsciously, they used it. But professional people, you know, use it consciously. This is the difference between being professional or not being professional. And, you know, imagination is our inner internet that can bring us to the worlds that don't even exist yet. And Mr. Bob Proctor, my mentor, said, you know, it is the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force that the world has ever known. And we have a great quote from Mr. Einstein. He said, logic gets you from point A to point B, while imagination takes you everywhere. So take it serious, guys. You need to develop this higher faculty. Then let's see what will happen, what changes you will see in your life. And the next one is will higher faculty. In fact, will is the power of concentrating your focus on an idea or initiative, okay? And imagine you focus on something that you really love. I'm sure that you have experienced this one, that, for example, when you focus on those things, you takes your head up and you saw, for example, 4 hours passed. Time flies. Why? Because unconsciously, you were using your will higher faculty. And just for your information, even if we develop using our will higher faculty, laser beam compared to it is just a toy, guys. And then we have another concept, which is called self-image. Our mind works with images. It is the boundary of our expectations that we have from ourselves. Imagine, guys, sorry, before that, let me read this rule here. The rule is that you cannot outperform your self-image. This is the rule, okay? And for example, if you don't expect yourself to have a luxury car in the future, naturally, you will not think of it, and naturally, you will not take any action to grab it, you see? But you have the ability to expand your self-image to something new, which is called winner image. To achieve big results, you need to expand your self-image to something much bigger, much bigger. In fact, you want to make your, playground a big field. It is the pixel perfect picture of your ideal identity as a team or individual. So you never out-earn your dreams. That's why we have to have big dreams, big ones. And here, a sample self-image of a Scrum team when they are not professional or they are not aware of them, okay? For example, we finish a lot of tasks in a sprint, but we don't know how they are contributing to value creation for customers. It's familiar, isn't it? And then, for example, our center of focus is to show beautiful velocity numbers. Although they are not written on paper, but they are in the mind of team members, no? But on the other hand, we have winner image for a Scrum team. We need to have a common definition of the ideal state that we want to be. This is an example of it. For example, we are doers, not speakers. We are committed to our goals, but flexible about the ways to reach those goals. We are completely self-managing and have full ownership of the work. But this winner image should be created collectively with all Scrum team members. Then you can collectively commit to it. So please create your winner image and change the vibration of your environment. Then the second line is beingness. Process of building a professional attitude starts with defining your genuine wants. Really, what do you want? Build a crystal clear picture of what you really want. We have something similar in the Scrum context, which are our various levels of goals. For example, product goal, product vision, and sprint goal. Why do we have goals in a Scrum context? Because we want to have a concrete reason to collaborate. We want to have a unique direction for the team to work together. And then get emotionally involved with your wants. Be the person you want to be before achieving your goal, guys. And finally, take action with faith. Your actions should be taken by relentless discipline and commitment. This is the definition of a person, professional, person. And then here, I want to discuss the relationship between Scrum values and professional attitude. Let's get started with the values that we have in a Scrum. In fact, we have 5 values. You are aware of it. But generally, values are our field to play the life game. Let's continue. The first one is commitment. Based on the definition that we have in a Scrum guide, it says the Scrum team commits to achieving its goals and to supporting each other. But here, from the point of view of professionalism, we can say commitment is a mental state. It starts with a definite decision. Proactiveness is your beingness, In fact, there are 2 keywords here, interested and committed. When you are interested in something, you just do what's convenient, But whenever you are committed to something, you do whatever it takes, no matter what. You just accept results, no excuses. And you are well-disciplined. And finally, it is like a dedication to delivering value, quality, working toward goals, and using empiricism in your environment as a professional Scrum player or practitioner. And then we have focus. Again, a Scrum guide says the Scrum team focuses on the work of the sprint to make the best possible progress toward its goals. It is the usage of your will hire faculty. I explained it a little bit earlier here. And the mental power of concentrating your energy on an idea. Compared to it, as I mentioned, the laser beam is a toy, guys. Every day is day one. We want to believe in this sentence. It is your masterpiece because all the knowing and all the power that you need are inside you. You just want to take them out and use them. And by focus, you can do it. Professional people get things done and they concentrate their attention and energy on outcome, not output. And then we have openness. Again, a Scrum guide says Scrum team and its stakeholder are open about the work and the challenges that they have. Guys, we hear with our ears, but listen with our emotions and hearts. If we want to experience real openness, we need to develop listening with the heart. When you hear, you are there just to reply. But when you listen, you want to understand. You don't want to reply. Okay, so it's a big difference between hearing and listening. It supports the transparency pillar of empiricism. It leads to a gentle flow of information circulation. Feedback is a flashlight illuminating the steps ahead and keeping you safe. Why do we work iteratively in the Scrum? Each sprint is a learning loop. We get feedback at the end of the sprint to close our learning loop based on the done increment that we create. So imagine we are against getting feedback. What will happen? Are we open anymore? No, we are not. And finally, when you are defending, you send a contradictory message that you are not open, while openness is one of the main values that a professional person should adhere to. And the next one is respect. Scrum team members respect each other to be capable, independent people and respected as such, by the people with whom they work. It is the definition of a Scrum guide. But guys, the essence of the world is for expansion and growth, and the nature way is being generous. Think of an apple seed. You know how many seeds an apple has, but you cannot imagine how many apples a seed can produce when it becomes a tree. You see how generous nature is. We want to be in that way and direction like nature. And you should be willing to give instead of get. Get will take care of itself. You need to have a real intention of helping others grow without expecting anything in return. And you respect diversity, background, knowledge, and experience in your team. Guys, respect is contagious. If you respect others, you will get something much bigger in return when you respect others. And here we want you to radiate respect all the time. It makes your environment safe, mentally safe. And finally, we have courage. A Scrum guide says, the Scrum team members have the courage to do the right thing, to work on tough problems. Yes, definitely. It is your jet fuel on your back to push you forward to your goals. In fact, guys, achieving goals is not something happening in your safe zone or safe side. You need to go to the places beyond your safe zone. The cave that you are scared to go in holds the treasure that you seek. It is your boosted force to overcome the inertia at the beginning of taking action. So for tough problems, just do the work. Done work will give you the power to do the next work. In fact, you create momentum. If you don't take risks, you will not experience real growth. In fact, you will be wandering. Be courageous to go to the unknown world because it is where the magic happens, guys. And be convenient with the inconvenience and be decisive over waiting for permission. These are the attributes of professional people. And finally, ethical behavior. Everything that you do as a professional person should be in 3 boundaries. First of all, you don't violate others' rights. Second, you don't hurt yourself, both mentally and physically. And finally, you don't make the world a worse place for others and yourself as well. If you have already participated in a PSM class, probably you experienced that exercise of Burger Kitchen, that student that served that customer with, a bad, I should say, meat. So here, that student violated these ethical boundaries. So we need to adhere them if we want to be real professional people. And then another attribute of professionalism is your wants. Everything you want is formless in the nature. Design your desired magnificent future, specifically by using your imagination higher faculty, guys. Fly it courageously to the far. There isn't any limit for your imagination. Be, aware of it, how powerful it is. Then you will see your beingness will completely differ. Then we have core values as another, attribute of professionalism. It is the foundation of your belief system. You can revise it throughout your journey, but you need it. We all have already our core values, but the difference is that either they are constructive or not, So build a neat playground by tuning your core values. I have got here some examples of core values. For example, customer success is our work foundation. Be excited to try new things. Always seek for creative solutions, kindness, respect. Ask for forgiveness, not permission. And then we have discipline. I really love this attribute of professionalism. Guys, motivation gets you just started. But this is discipline that takes you to the finish line. You may ask what discipline means here. Discipline has 3 parts. First, awareness. You know and you are aware what you need to do. It should be aligned with your, vision, with your goals that you have. Second one is your control. You have full control of your inside, your mind. You can dictate it to your mind to take action, even the things that you don't like to do, but you have the control of your mind to dictate it what to do. And finally, action. Without action, discipline is pointless. And the, interesting point here is that this one. The time frame between the moment that you get aware of something that you need to do and the time that you do that action should be the same, okay? Then you can claim you are highly disciplined. It is called, in short, do it now. And then persistence. Persistence is the price of passing the gestation period, guys. Imagine carbon. Carbon is in the nature. If we imagine it under high pressure and temperature over time, it will become diamond. But as you can see, it is, paying the price of gestation period. So you need to develop this attribute of professionalism as well. But persistence without having a concrete goal is pointless. Guys, you need to have a concrete and vivid goal. Then you will get a real meaning of persistence. Decision making, and it's better to say quick decision making. Mr. Napoleon Hill said, successful people make decisions quickly but change them slowly. On the other hand, losers make decisions slowly but change them quickly. Think of it, guys. The essence of the world is for expansion and growth. So you are infinite and you have the infinite potential to achieve goals. So whenever we want to make decisions, we shouldn't think of how. We just need to check if it comes from our deep insight or not. The how is not your duty. It is your spirit duty. It knows the best about the how, okay? So the only prerequisite of having things is whether you really want it. Not how, not your current circumstances, not logic, okay? So whenever you want to make a decision about what you want individually or as a team, please use this concept, okay? And don't limit yourself. And the best time for decision making is when the idea is hot and emotion is strong. The opposite side is procrastination. How many times have you experienced that you were aware of doing something and you even knew that it was mandatory, but you just postpone it to somewhere in the future? What was the result of that one? Here, if we want to be professional, we should to learn quick decision making, regardless of taking care of how. The how will be shown throughout the way. And then we have 7 main universal laws. We don't have a lot of time here to deep dive into it, but I just wanted to mention it. One of the main approach here regarding universal laws is having give mindset instead of take mindset. It's a transition, okay? So whenever you want to help others, to support others, you should be willing to give without any expectation in return. It doesn't mean that you will not get anything. It is the universe work. It will do it at the best level. But you mentally shouldn't be expecting anything in return. We call it give mindset. Imagine mass people, when they want to help people, first they calculate, if I do this one, what will that person give me instead? It's not a constructive mindset. It's a take mindset, guys. And I have this, I love this acronym here, ABD, always be developing. The more developed you, the better giving. So here we can connect it with the professionalism concept in a Scrum. We have this sentence in the Scrum context: continuous growth, learning, and development are essential. The Scrum team can be successful if they are willing to work on themselves to be a better version of themselves over time. Final words. For professional people, every day is day one. They have a great intention to create a masterpiece day every day. And they even want to beat their yesterday by putting the best of them today. So it's a new concept, yeah? If you wanted to create a masterpiece day, what attributes would you have in your day, for your day? Think of it. Do you think of it deliberately? If not, you are using in a low level your days. So it cannot be that constructive, helping you moving toward your goals as an individual or a Scrum team. And then professional people have epic hours daily. What does epic hour mean? The times that we use our will hire faculty in a high level, a few hours, at least 5 hours, guys, you focus on goal achieving activities every day. Let's see what will happen. it will catapult you to your goal, toward your goals. Why not? Try it, guys. Their why is much stronger than why not. So they always seek for why they can, not thinking of thoughts that they cannot. Whatever you think is true. If you think you cannot, you will not. If you think you can, you will do it. You will make it. It's your choice. You can use your reasoning higher faculty to change the game for yourself. They live with do it now, as I mentioned when I talked about discipline. They do the work with high momentum. They don't let outside world control their inside, guys. Imagine whenever you are attached to the outside world circumstances, what will happen? Whenever something goes, well, you are happy. But when something goes bad, you are down, you are disappointed, you are dependent on the outside world circumstances. So you make yourself vulnerable. You will not be that strong, guys. We want to be independent and detached of the outside world. We shouldn't be excited about the things that we have in outside. We should be inspired by them. So this is one of the main characteristics of professional people. And then they are highly committed, disciplined, and persistent. And their conscious mind, subconscious mind, and body are fully aligned and in harmony with their wants, their true wants, guys. It is a new level of awareness and beingness, and we should create them. It doesn't happen by accident, guys. And radiate energy. Why? Because whenever you radiate energy, it attracts whatever you need in your way to achieve your goals. Always radiate your passion and energy based on your winner image. It is contagious. You change the vibration of your environment. When you are positive, when you see the good things, when you are willing to put tons of good things to the outside world, your environment will change. In fact, you are activating universal laws to work for you, not against you. These are simple rules, guys, but the real learning is about implementation, not just collecting information. If you want to be real professional people, you should implement this new level of knowingness and awareness. Don't worry about how. Be willing to walk before you see the way. As you start to walk on the way appears. And we have the same thing in the Scrum world. Why do we have sprints? Because we know that we have some assumptions and we want to verify them. How? By taking them as our scope of work in the sprint, implement them and get the feedback from our stakeholders and market to see if we are in the right way or not. And whenever you start implementing, you will find and discover your solution. So we have the same thing in the professional concept as well. And guys, as the final word here, being a real professional person is not a one-night work, but a journey. It is a decent lifestyle. If you want to develop your professional identity, you should be willing to invest in it. Invest in yourself. Bet on yourself. Guys, we are, as I mentioned, I learned from my mentor, we are infinite. Just migrate to your higher self and see the world with a really, really higher level and see how your environment, how your beingness, how your experience of life will change. So if you are willing to invest in building your professional identity, I can definitely help you with my 6 months coaching program. So book a free call with me on Calendly. This is my Calendly link. I will share it on the Zoom as well. And this is my LinkedIn profile as well. If you have any question, if you want to contact me, I will be happy to help you and to join you with the regard of, creating your professional identity. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm gonna, returning back to my friend Lindsay here. Lindsay, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mehdi. That was great. So we do have some questions that we have time for that came in from the audience. This first one here comes from a new and aspiring Scrum Master, Shua. As a Scrum Master, who do you go to if you feel that there is a team member who is not responding or respecting to your facilitation or coaching? What is the right balance? Who provides feedback to the Scrum Master for their performance?
Yeah, that's a great question. Guys, the main approach of a professional Scrum Master in this situation is to discover why. No one already has an intention to be a bad guy in the Scrum team. You need to be willing to discover that why that person don't see the value of facilitation, or even they don't want to participate in your collaboration, in your events and these things. So if you can discover that why, you will see and you will find the solution, how invite them and how attract them to join the collective work of the team. Yeah, this is my answer here.
Okay, that is great. Thank you. There's another question here regarding the slide on universal laws. Does this approach work in the real workplace?
Yeah, definitely. This is your choice, guys. You can think, no, it's idealistic, it's theory, it doesn't work. No, based on my experience, as I mentioned, I have been intensively working on creating my professional identity over the past 2 years. If you have a, decisive decision to live with this concept, you can absolutely do it. Why not? Change your vibration, change your environment, and move from theory thinking about this concept and, help your team to move toward that level, to see these concepts as real things. Guys, there is a $1 million question for Scrum Masters. The question is this one: how do we inspire others to greatness? You need to always ask this question. And when you want to be in that place, to be able to inspire others to move to higher self, first you should be the real example of the behavior that you expect them to behave based on. Are you willing to invest in yourself to be in that place? If you are not, expecting your team to be a high-performing team, to be honest, is pointless. Everything starts with us. We should be willing to work ourselves to create a real professional identity. Then people with their heart start following us. Try it, my friend. I'm done, Lindsay.
That's great. Thank you. There's just a comment that came in from Stacy. Thank you. This is a well-received message. The state of mind and knowing yourself is core to any Scrum team. The clean and positive energy is important to be clear to ensure a healthy team. And I think that's a really great takeaway from all of this. So thank you for that, Stacy. There's a question, one more question here. Would you recommend to be very open to the team and suggest I don't know if this person means meditation or mediation. I'm guessing meditation and other techniques.
Yeah. Guys, meditation is a tool or technique to experience calmness in your mind. Okay. If it works for you, use it. If it doesn't, no, there isn't any force to use it, but try it. You know that a Scrum is a wrapper and it will, and reveals if any technique works for you or not. So meditation is another technique. Try it. Why not? Be courageous to try new things. Yeah,
Great. And there's actually another question that came in through the chat.
yeah.
What are some strategies to instill professionalism in remote Scrum teams?
In remote Scrum team. Wow, that's a good question. Is there anything, sorry, is there any difference between, remote or co-located teams? Because it is our internal decision to flourish our infinite potential, okay? It doesn't matter if you work remotely or if you work as a co-located team. You need to ignite a powerful trigger inside your team. Why? Because if they don't make a real decision to change their way, nothing happens, to be honest. How? Again, I said, first, we should create this identity in ourselves and be a real role model of that one. And we have this concept in Scrum. We call it lead by example, guys. Are you an example, a real example of the behavior that you want your team to behave based on those behaviors? If not, don't search for the, answers outside yourself. First, search inside you. So I don't see any big difference in remote teams or co-located teams. Yeah, I'm done. And maybe here, just for your information, my mentors, lived in the USA while I'm living in the Netherlands. So it was my dedication to learn. It doesn't matter if they are here in my neighborhood or if they are, living in the USA, where we have around 6, 7, or 8 hours time difference in our time zones.
That's a great point. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, this question from Whitney. We have time for maybe one or two more here. I'm a Scrum Master. Do you have any suggestions on how to handle a team where if I provide feedback, the team questions it, but if that same feedback comes from the team lead, nobody questions it?
Because they have the authority, team lead. Yeah, I can imagine. Guys, again, I should mention why we have this type of behavior. You know that the first pillar of empiricism is transparency. If you have these two, different states, getting feedback or not getting feedback when you have your team lead or something, it shows that you are not that transparent. Why? And when we don't have transparency in place, doing inspection and adaptation is pointless. They don't work, guys. So stop there, stay there in the transparency state, and work together as a team to increase it as much as you can. Then you will see your environment and vibration will change. We are all, specifically a Scrum Master, are responsible for holding empiricism up. If you ignore the concept of empiricism, a lot of bad things happen, guys. Things that you don't expect. Yeah, the difference that you mentioned. So think of it, how you as a Scrum Master can support, your empirical way of working and keep it alive. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, great. I think we have time for one last question.
Yeah.
We have a team that tends to go off on tangents rather than staying on track. What is a positive way of coaching the Scrum Master to keep the team on track?
Yeah, we see a lot this concept. Guys, first of all, is it really the Scrum Master responsibility to keep the developers or team on track? If we want to have self-managing team, shouldn't they be responsible for keeping themselves on track? Another question, what does on track mean? You see it as a scope of the sprint that is committed by the developers to be finished by the end of the sprint. If it is the case, it's a wrong assumption, because we are working in a complex environment. Imagine your developers, your team members are showing their best, okay? But in the middle of the sprint, they see something new appears as announced. They didn't see it in their sprint planning. So can we say they are not on track? Guys, they just have learned that something new is in their way and they need to manage them. So instead of trying to manage and keep developers and teams on track, please change your center of attention from that control state to the position that you help them to be a self-managing team. Then they will take over the responsibility of keeping themselves on track. Yeah, this is my answer, Lindsay.
That's awesome. Thank you. All right. So we do have a few more questions. I will share those with Mehdi so that he can figure out how to address those offline. And we have just a couple closing slides quick, Mehdi, if you want to.
Yeah, just a moment. I will share it again. Oh. I don't know what happened to my... Just
if you don't have it, don't worry about it. I can just close. So please be sure to stay connected with Scrum.org through our social media channels and also our website. As I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of great free resources on our website to continue your learning. So please be sure to do that. And then Mehdi, the best way to connect with you is on LinkedIn, correct? And
yes,
you had
definitely.
shared your Calendly link as well.
Do I need to share the link here in the, I don't know, the chat box here?
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah, let me do it here.
And make sure you filter it to everyone so everyone gets that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, this is my Calendly and this is my LinkedIn profile as well.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so you all know how to stay connected. Thank you so much, Mehdi, for your time today. And thank you, audience, for attending and bringing some great questions. And I hope you really took some great things from this today.
And guys, thank you very much. And Lindsay, thank you very much for helping and supporting me and this webcast.
Of course. Thank you, everyone.